prepared.
I now call to order the business of June 9th, 2015. Mr. Clerk, will you please take the roll?
Netta Pegian.
Present.
Kenneth Barron.
Here?
Thomas Berry.
Here.
Robert Constant.
Here.
Lisa Hicks Clayton.
Here.
Margaret Horvath.
Here.
Joseph Kosinski.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Our council secretary, Denise Walker, is on vacation, so Sheila Wall is taking her place, and I'd like to ask Sheila to please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next order of business is approval of the agenda.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Kozinski.
I move the agenda have an addition of 9O having to do with CEDD contract approved on December 9th, 2014, Stargate Services, and environmental testing consultants.
Support.
Second by Councilman Berry. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 4, approval of the minutes. 4A, the minutes of the regular meeting of May 26,
Mr.
2015. Councilman Berry.
Motion to approve the minutes of May 26, 2015 as outlined.
Second.
Second by Councilman Kozinski. Is there any discussion?
Need.
Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 6, fund transfers and current claims.
Mr. Chair,
Councilman Berry.
motion to approve current claims 6-1 through 634.
36, I believe.
36?
Yep. Oh, wait a
Oh,
second.
34.
4, you're right.
4.
Say that again, please.
You're right. Yeah, I don't know where I got 36 from.
Oh, my God, Ken made a mistake.
Second.
Second by Councilman Kozinski. Any discussion?
I have a question, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Councilman Apigian?
On item 34, it's happened before. We have an invoice for $9,600. It's there, but there's no request for payment. Why is it there if we're not going to pay it?
These are claims to be paid.
Well, they're only asking for $4,800, not the additional $9,600.
That's all they're looking for.
Unless I missed it.
It's
Pardon?
4,800.
Yeah, it's only $4,800 is what they're asking for now.
Yeah. So why are they showing us an invoice for $9,600?
Because you have the credit. Do you see the
Yeah,
credit there?
well,
Payment?
obviously, but then they should tell you it's a credit.
It's on there. It's on the invoice.
I didn't see it.
See it right there. See it,
Where'd you see it?
right here.
Oh, okay.
Payment for
Yeah.
April 15th. Yeah.
The last
That's-
payment
Search
overlapped.
for that, right.
It's on there.
Okay.
That's it.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 8, reports from the mayor. 8A, from Mayor Paletko, appointment of Freedom of Information Act FOIA coordinator.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Chairman.
Councilman Berry.
motion to receive, note, and file agenda item 8A.
Support.
Second by Councilman Constant. Is this the receive, note, and file?
It is.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 9, report from city official. 9A, from Administrative Assistant Laszlo, Freedom of Information Act appointments.
Mr. Chairman.
Councilwoman Hicks Clayton.
Yes, I move to receive, note, and file agenda item 9A.
Second.
Second by Councilman Kozinski. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Councilwoman Horvath?
okay, I'm confused here because it says, this is from the mayor's assistant, and it says, I'm appointing the mayor's executive secretary to act as a FOIA coordinator. But on the original one, we've got Chrissy.
In addition, I am appointing the records lieutenant for the police department.
I get that. So do we have the mayor's executive secretary, you, and the police department?
And the fire.
Fire
There's a
department.
backup for me with the new law and it has to appoint the position, not the name. And because I went by the names
Right.
in the charter, not the other names, so nobody calls Steph an executive
Okay.
secretary, me, but that's,
Okay, I got it. That's it.
Okay.
So,
Anything
Mr.
else?
Chair,
Councilman Berry?
I guess maybe we should just outline or speak of this new amendment to the Freedom of Information Act that was effective, or is effective, July 1st, 2015. It now states that the mayor of every city must appoint a position to a FOIA coordinator for your city. So we are in fact appointing the mayor's assistant as our FOIA coordinator, according to state law, effective July 1st, 2015.
Anyone else? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 9B from Council Chair Barron, request for increase in compensation for corporate counsel and firms acting as assistant corporate counsels.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Apigian, second by Councilman Berry. Is there any discussion? Gary? And this will be effective June 1st?
Yeah, I think the motion
Is it
needs
okay
to
with the
reflect when.
maker and the second?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 9C from Controller Macari, budget amendment, street funds.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Apigian.
I move to approve a budget amendments for the street funds as illustrated, revenue increases as decreases, as indicated in 9C, and also expenditure increases indicated as decreases. These both total $1,422,000 with 4 items. These amendments is needed to balance our accounts for the year end June 30th,
Second.
2015.
Second by Councilman Kozinski. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 9D from Controller Macari, budget amendments, NSP.
Mr. Chair,
Councilman Berry.
motion to approve the budget amendments for the NSP grants, revenues, and expenses as outlined in 9D.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Hicks Clayton. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 9E from Controller Macari, budget amendments.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Apigian.
I move to approve the budget amendments by our controller in the area of revenue increases, which, as outlined in 9E, totaling $309,500, and expenses increases, which are decreases, and I didn't add them all up, but there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 items in that category, as shown in item 9E.
9E, that'll
Support.
do it. Second by Councilman Berry. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number F from Public Service Administrator Zimmer, sewer line change order number 10.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilwoman Horvath.
I move that we concur with Director Zimmer and approve the change order for $978,842.50 that amends the contract the city has with D&D Water and Sewer, utilizing their current unit prices. Is this two? is
Wait,
this
I don't know where
That's
did you, the number
You're
here
on
was
9G.
250,000.
Yeah, we're on 9F.
We're on 9F.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, where'd you
Sorry,
get that
sorry
money?
about
You want me
that.
to take 9F?
No.
Bill, would
I
that be
don't wanna
okay
take-
if she gave you that much
I want
money?
9G.
Okay, Bill says, go for it.
Take
250,000.
9F, Mr. Chair.
Sorry about that.
Okay, Councilman Berry.
9F, motion to approve the sewer line change order number 10 as outlined in 9F.
Second.
Second by Councilman Kozinski. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number G from Public Service Administrator Zimmer, 2015 Water Main Program Recommendation of Award.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilwoman Horvath.
I move that the council approve the enclosed change order for $978,842.50 that amends the contract the city has with D&D Water and Sewer, utilizing their current unit prices.
Second.
Wait a second,
Is
she's not
this
quite
two
finished.
motions or one?
You can put it all together with the weight and trim,
Okay.
sure.
And I also, that we concur with the construction engineering budget for Wade Trim Associates in the amount of $85,000. This work was approved in the 2014-15 water and sewer budget.
Support. Second by Councilman Constant. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 9H from Public Service Administrator Zimmer, Equipment Disposal.
Mr. Chair,
Councilman Berry.
move City Council concur with William Zimmer and grant him permission to have ISR or Information System Resources remove and dispose of the old computer equipment stored in the basement of the City Hall as outlined in 9F.
Second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Kozinski. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 9I from Parks and Recreation Director, Deputy Director, Constant, computers for the Parks and Recreation Department.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilwoman Horvath.
I'm going to try this. I move that we concur with Deputy Director Constant and authorize Dearborn IT to purchase computers, hardware, and software for 15 computers in the amount of $14,340.79. 13 of those computers will be paid with smart funds, and 2 computers will be paid out of the capital outlay budget for Richard A. Young. Also requesting Dearborn Heights City Council authorize Dearborn IT to purchase 15 computers in the amount of, wait a minute. Oh, that's the
Well,
motion.
The same.
14,340.
Mayor and clerk to sign the purchase agreement.
Okay. As outlined in 9I.
You got it. Okay, second by Councilwoman Hicks Clayton.
Thank you.
Is there any discussion?
Payment
On receipt.
Yeah, payment upon receipt?
Yes.
Not
Okay.
before.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yep. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 9J from Parks and Recreation Deputy Director Kim Constant,
Mr. Chair.
Hanukkah Minalta BizHub copier for Canfield, Eaton, and Berwyn. Councilman Berry.
Mr. Chair, move City Council concur with Deputy Director Kim Constant and authorize the purchase of the Conica Minolta BizHub copiers for the Canfield Center, Eaton Center, and Berwyn Center, and authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign as outlined in 9J.
Support. Second by Councilman Constant. There, if you put as outlined in 9J, but there are some additional items, but as
As
outlined in 9J, we cover
9J,
it. Yeah.
I didn't want to go through the entire motion it would take.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilwoman Horvath.
I don't think the support should come from Councilman Constant. I think it should come from somebody else.
I'll take it.
Well,
Okay.
you know, that, I had that talk years ago, and I remember the person that told me that, which I highly respect, said that there's no reason any council member should not vote for anything that ever comes before them, even if they work for the company.
I don't agree.
But I'm just saying, that's the opinion I had. So if someone else wants to take it, that's fine.
Okay, that's
Okay, we'll let Councilman Apigian will be the second on
I
that,
like
but,
Miss Kim.
okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number K from Parks and Recreation Deputy Director Constant, Budget Amendment.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman
I
Apigian.
move to approve our Deputy Recreation Director's proposal to amend the Parks and Recreation Department capital outlay budget by $40,938 and increase the smart revenue as well by $40,938. These, and to purchase 3 machines totaling $28,388. These machines will be purchased by city funds, and Smart will reimburse our community credit fund as outlined in detail on
Second.
9K.
Second by Councilman Kozinski. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. 9L from Fire Chief Brogan, purchase of chainsaw and a generator.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilwoman Horvath.
I move that we approve the purchase of a chainsaw and a generator for the fire department in the total amount of $3,041.51.
Support.
Second by Councilman Barry, is outlined in 9L, just to.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Support, okay?
Support.
Thank you. Okay.
You're not
Any
sending that
discussion? Approved payment upon,
You're not sending that chainsaw to Texas, are you?
and approve the payment?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, good. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number M from Fire Chief Brogan, request to continue EMS billing through Acumen.
Mr. Chairman,
Chairman,
Mr. Chair. I would recommend, Fire Chief Brogan and I discussed this contract. There are some problems with it.
Refer it to yourself.
Well, refer to me or table it, however you want to end up doing it, but I've already discussed them, and we're going to go over this. And
Well, let's refer it back to the administration, and then
So
they can
moved.
work it out,
So
and
moved.
then you
Support.
can bring it back to us when you're ready. Okay, moved by Councilman Kozinski, second by Councilman Barry, that we refer it back to the administration. All in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number N, from City Clerk Kuchevitz, budget adjustment.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Kozinski.
move council concur with the request of City Clerk Walter Persevich regarding a budget amendment necessary to cover the costs of codification of ordinances and current secretary overtime, and also to balance the year-end budget. All
Second.
per the item of 9N.
Okay, second by Councilman Apigian. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number O, correspondence from Councilman Joseph Kaczynski, CED contracts approved on December 9th, 2014.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Kaczynski.
I'd want the privilege of a comment first before
Go ahead.
making a motion. When the council packets arrived on Thursday, there was no indication that the request, the unanimous request of the city council of the Community and Economic Development Director conformed to certain requests regarding the Stargate HVA services and the Environmental Testing and Consulting Incorporated. Not seeing that being conformed to, I prepared a resolution so as to rescind motion 1404, which was the beginning of a great deal of conflict and understanding, tried to understand what the contracts for the community and economic development were all about. So I would propose a motion that Council Motion 14404 be rescinded for various reasons so that we can start anew with the search for new contracts and come up to date and authorize these contracts to be effective when they come back to the council. The motion is to rescind motion 14404.
there support? Second?
So I have a question.
You want to second it for lack of discussion? You can,
Mr. Chairman,
Mayor?
I would like to suggest that you indicated you might have time available next Tuesday, and why don't we have a committee of the whole meeting and talk about this matter, and then, I'm in favor of getting resolved with the councilman once and for all, and so whatever is decided, but give us an opportunity to talk about it, get it resolved.
Mr. Chair.
We could do it. Councilman Barry?
Yeah, I'd have to concur with that because I don't quite have a good handle on what the issue is here and what needs to be resolved to move forward or how it would affect the city. So before we rescind any contract, respectfully speaking to the councilman, I'd be more than willing to support it, but I'd just like to learn a little bit more about it before I go ahead and make a vote to rescind anything.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Kozinski?
the basic reason for trying to get Council Motion 14404 is that on December 9th, we were recommended to approve contracts that were subsequently found not to exist. I don't know about anybody else, but that's an embarrassment for me because I supported that motion to concur with the recommendation to approve those contracts. From various sources, including the 4 contractors in my own research, none of them were willing to agree that there were contracts in place that would justify concurring with the recommendation that was given to us by the Community and Economic Development Director. In addition to that, on 2 occasions after December 9th, at which meeting the contracts were approved, I had conversation with the Community and Economic Development Department once in February and once in March. In both of those conversations, I was told that the contract text, the language of the contracts were still being worked on. So the grave question is, how can we, as a council body, approve contracts on December 9th without sufficient backup? There were no bid sheets, merely a recommendation, a single sheet without anything else attached to it. I will admit to a grave mistake. And now I'm trying to correct that by rescinding 14404 so that we can come back with a clean slate and eliminate all of the controversy that was raised by that issue of approving those contracts. In addition to that, as late as June 9th, 2015, we have 2 contracts that have been delivered to us with signatures. These contracts should have been in hand at the time that 14404 was negotiated and approved. I have a question also, and we'll debate a lot of this in detail on the mayor's recommendation, is that in the April 13th information of 1,000 pages, one of the questions of many was, were any of the contractors who are presuming to be contractors in the present time, were they contractors before? The answer was yes. Stargate and Wade and Trim. We were also told publicly that if a contractor did not change any of the details of a contract, he could continue to be servicing CEDD on the basis of a previous contract. Now, I've searched hell and high water to find a contract for environmental testing and consulting. There was no previous contract for them, and the previous contract was approved in June of 2010. Remind you, we're in 2015 now. And I haven't been able to find any information of any activity of a council approval of environmental testing and consulting. And they've been doing business with us. So call out the date and come prepared to debate all of this. I want, in a sense, in rescinding 14401, we will come back with a clean slate, and all the contractors will have signatures on their contracts. They will be referred to the mayor and the city clerk for signature, and we'll move from there. Everything will be wiped away clean, including the mistake of voting 14404.
So, Mr. Chair,
You can make it next week.
yeah, I know we don't have a second on his motion to rescind it, so I would like to make a motion to move this to a study session, date specific being, what is it, July, or June,
16th?
June 16th, is it?
16th? Yep.
June 16th. Do we get a support?
Support.
Second by Councilman Constant. Is there any more discussion? Just save this part of your packets, too.
Yep.
Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. This ends our regular portion of our council meeting. Is there anything to come from any of the council members?
Mr. Chair.
Councilman Constant.
We had the Rouge Rescue at Parkland Park this last weekend. We had our largest participation ever. 52 students, the Crestwood and Annapolis Honor Society students, and some key club members from Riverside, 12 adults. 25 of our trees were weeded and fertilized, and we got rid of 92 bags of the garlic mustard, which is an invasive species. So I'd like to thank everyone that helped out the watershed stewards with the Rouge Rescue 2015 at Parkland Park.
Good.
Chairman, those were K-Kids from Riverside.
K-Kids.
I may add, Key Club was from Annapolis.
Yeah.
Right.
And they were there as well.
Right.
So, and it was the Junior National Honor Society from
They had the
Riverside,
right
so thank you.
information.
Yeah, you know what you're saying.
Okay, anything else from the council? Mayor, is there anything that you, okay? Clerk Pachevitz, anything? Okay. Then at this time, if anyone has any announcements, I'm sure Ken Greibel has one, so we'll let Ken go first.
Well, good evening, and as you mentioned, there is a big occasion in Dearborn Heights that's going to be starting on June 10th, and that is, of course, the first day of summer. I know, according to the calendar, it's a couple weeks, but in Dearborn Heights, it starts with the Spirit Festival on June 10th through the 14th on the grounds of the Campbell Community Center. There's a lot of things going on. I'm going to try to highlight just a few of them for you, if you wouldn't, if you'll give me the time. This gives me a chance to promote it one last time. Tomorrow we're going to be having a very special event. It's our 5th annual Senior Jubilee. We bring in 200 seniors from both centers. We bus them in because parking is very limited. We provide a very nice luncheon for them. The Kiwanis Club will be there and putting on a bingo for them. And we have entertainment and a nice lunch. So it's just a great opportunity to allow our senior population, who might be a little more intimidated by the larger crowds and the lateness of the night of the other days, to come out and enjoy some of the hospitality that Spirit has to offer. So they'll be the only ones there, and if you wish to get a ticket, unfortunately have to announce that you're unable to. Tickets sold out about a week ago. So it's a very popular event, so the 200 tickets are gone, but if you'd like to come out and join us, and council or mayor, I know the mayor will be there, would like to come on out and see our seniors having some, I think, good old-fashioned fun. On Thursday, we have our annual Taste Fest. That's a very popular event. We've been doing it now for 23 years. We have a number of food establishments in Dearborn Heights that participate. This is one of our fundraisers for the event. In other words, all the food and the staff that is provided to us by these food vendors is all donated. And then we have a modest charge of $6 for adults and $4 for everybody else. And all those proceeds go to help pay for a lot of the entertainment that we have throughout the weekend. But it's quite a bargain. I don't know where you can go get a meal like that for $6. So it's because of our sponsors and because of our food vendors that we're able to do that. That evening, and also on Thursday, it's community night. That's where we have some of our Crestwood High School Jazz Band, the Riverside Choral Groups. We give our local talent an opportunity to take the stage at Spirit. So they'll be there on Thursday doing that, and then we'll be closing out with a classic rock band, Pure Grain. On Friday, we have our community service night. This is our third annual. We'll have the Kiwanis, Rotarians, Lions, and we'll be joined by the Goodfellows this year as the fourth. And they'll be sponsoring that evening. They'll be there from 6 to 8, having a lot of giveaways to the public, and also interacting and letting people know what their causes are and what they do, and to also probably see if anybody would like to join any of those organizations if they have a same type of interest. So it's just a great opportunity for our service clubs to connect with the public in a very nice atmosphere. That evening we have Steve King and the Diddleys performing, so that's we'll be closing out the evening with Steve King and the Diddleys, playing all kinds of great music from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and he even leaks into the 80s a little bit now, so he's added a little bit to it. We have the first annual Pizza with a Purpose event, and that'll be in the air-conditioned Campfield Community Center, sponsored by Rotary Club this year, so that's pizza and salad, so if you'd like to come down, that starts at 5 o'clock, and that'll be in the Campfield Center. We move into Saturday. We have Military Appreciation, our 10th annual. This is a day that we honor and recognize our military for all they do for us, for fighting for our freedom. We have a very nice event and tribute for them at 1 o'clock. And so if any of you can come out and join us, we really encourage the public to come out. We don't get as many veterans as we used to, because a lot of our veterans are getting older, but that doesn't take away, that we still want to show great support. So even if the public comes out at large and does that, I think it's very important for some of the veterans that do turn out. And so we have Dwayne Malinowski coming out at 3 o'clock doing polka tunes. So, and then we'll be closing out with Larry Lee and Back in the Days. And Larry Lee was a former football player for the Detroit Lions and now has a group. He does a lot of Kool and the Gang, if you recognize some of those, Earth, Wind, and Fire, and he does a lot of Motown. So if you're into that kind of genre and that music, I think you'll have a very enjoyable evening Saturday at Spirit. Sunday is our family day. We've been doing that now, as this is our 29th year, and yes, this is the 29th annual family day. And we open it up with a pancake breakfast. The Dearborn Heights Professional Firefighters Union puts on a really nice breakfast at 9 o'clock till noon, so hopefully you would come out and support them. They're going to do a water ball fight again this year behind the Campfield Center. This is something we did years ago, and we did last year. It went over really big, so they're going to come back. And also, we're expecting some warm weather, so it cools people off in the afternoon when they do it at 3 o'clock. We have Elvis will be in the house at 3:30. Home Depot will have a craft shop for the kids, so that will be at 4 o'clock to 6. And then we'll be closing out with the Arizona Sun Country Band, and this will be featuring Devin Skillian, who is our WDIV news anchor on Channel 4. He's a very, very good singer. He was there last year on Friday night with this band, and the reviews were so great, and there were so many people that weren't able to make it, so they asked us if we would bring him back, and so we're going to do that on Sunday. And what makes Sunday better than Friday is that Friday he had to do the concert between his newscasts, because he gets off at 6, so he got there. So he's only able to do one set, then he had to leave early to get back to do the 11 o'clock. Well, because we have him on Sunday, he'll be there for all 3 sets. So and what makes Devin, I mean, I've never seen anybody more personable. After he does a meet and greet, he'll let you take photos with him, he talks with you, he'll autograph, there's just great opportunity to interact with him, and like I said, he's very personable. We have free shuttle service throughout the weekend for those who can't find parking, because parking is a premium. And the last thing we have, of course, which I think is very important that I want to announce, is our 29th annual Mayor's Walk. Our Mayor Pleco will be the honorary chairman of that event, and it's a 1-mile non-competitive walk. And the reason we do this is to promote walking as a healthy form of exercise. Once people go out and walk a mile and find out how enjoyable it is, we hope that they would encourage it, continue it throughout the entire summer. So that's kind of a kickoff. And our overall theme this year is we're saluting Detroit 1935 City of Champions. And if you're not familiar with what happened in 1935, which is very unique to only the city of Detroit, they held all 3 championships. The Tigers won the World Series, their first ever in 35. The Red Wings won their first ever Stanley Cup in 1935, and yes, those Detroit Lions won their first NFL championship in 1935. And what gave it an exclamation point is that Joe Louis held the heavyweight boxing champion. So that's why we're known as the City of Champions in 1935. So it's something we can boast. It was 80 years ago, so we're going to salute that, and I think it's something we can all be proud, because although we may not live in Detroit, we all feel part of Detroit and the sports scene that's there. So in honor of the Mayor's Walk, we annually give out a commemorative T-shirt, and we're going old school this year with our T-shirt. And so it basically says Spirit Festival salutes Detroit, City of Champions, 1935. So this is a keepsake. This is the official T-shirt of the Spirit Fest, and we do not sell it. We have 125 to give away at the Mayor's Walk, and that's on Thursday. Registration starts at 6:30, and the walk at 7. And we just walk the streets around the grounds. We go down to Wilson, take Wilson down to, I think, John Daly back up and back to the ground. So we just go through the neighborhood.
We get a police escort.
We have a total police escort. We take to the streets. The police provide a safe, for us, and it's a great event. And you walk at your own pace. It's not a race. So basically, the winner is the people who finish. And we've yet to have no one not finish. So, like I said, it's just a great, and like I said, once you get out and walk and see how much fun it can be, then, of course, if you get out and walk a mile or so a day only, you'd find out how much better you feel, and it's good for your health, and that's what we're promoting with it. So that's 6:30, Thursday, 7 o'clock the walk, 6:30 the registration, and people do line up for the shirts. So if you want to get your size, get there. That's all I can encourage you.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilwoman
thank
Clayton?
you. 2 quick questions. I know you mentioned the shuttle, which runs from the post office, and I think that was every 15 minutes, but what is your starting time and end time for the shuttle service?
The shuttle service will be starting on Friday and Saturday and Sunday. It starts at 5, and it goes to 10:30 on Friday and Saturday, and because Sunday's a shorter night, we stop at 10.
Okay, and that's at the post office,
That is correct. You park at the post office, and we'll drop you off right at the grounds and
All
then
right,
take you back.
thank you. And then the second question I had for you, and I thought it was in the flyer you have there, but just for the public information, if they haven't seen it, I know the flyer is online, but in the past, you offered a discount coupon online for the Midway rides. Is that still
Yes, we have
available just
Wednesday
for their-
night is our sneak preview night, and compliments of our amusement ride company we've been with for at least 15 years, maybe longer, Mid-America Shows. On Wednesday night, we're offering a $4 off ride coupon, and that's available online at the Parks and Recreation website or any of the city buildings. And if you have a child that goes to a school in Dearborn Heights, check their backpack, because last week they got one in there. So we try to get them out to our residents. It's something we would like to see our residents take advantage of. So now they can ride all the rides. Instead of $16, they can ride them for $12. And that's an incredible bargain. If you go anywhere else, rides usually for a fare our size are like $25 to $30. So for $12, it's quite a bargain.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Good. Hope to see everybody out there.
And last, I'd like to present it to the mayor, because I know he'll be there.
Oh,
And don't ask me on Monday for a T-shirt. We give them all out. You come out to walk, and that's how you get the T-shirt. So come on out and join us.
okay.
Thank you.
Javits, you had a comment?
Yeah, first of all, I'd just like to congratulate all our graduates from our local high schools. They graduated, the seniors, and especially we had about 30 to 40 students helped us with the last election. from Crestwood and also the first time from Annapolis. And I hope a few of you are watching. They did a wonderful job. I talked to Mr. Scott from Annapolis today and related that to him. And they're just some quality young people, and we just wish them the best on their graduation this year.
Good. Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Okay. Come on up, Mike. Councilman Kozinski?
it occurs to me that the issue that I discussed extensively is an issue that relates to HUD. Would there be any objections to having our HUD representative there so that we can be informed about what we might learn from the regulations that they would present? Is there any problem with
There's
that?
someone that,
Can you get a HUD rep?
I'll have the whole department here, sure. How many would you like?
I'm aware that we have one HUD representative.
Yeah, we have several. You want one?
If you get the top of the crop, I'd be
Sure.
glad to hear her out.
The regional director?
Who do we report to downtown?
I report to the regional director. I report to a finance officer.
And the
I
name is
report
who?
to our representative.
I would want someone who is well-versed on all of the regulations and contracts that have to do with the as-needed services that your department has requested contractors for. Somebody who is well-versed in that area. Because that to me is where the basis of the problem is. I think if there was more understanding of what the HUD regulations are, and not to minimize your position, we would all learn at the same time the fine details of what is required in these activities.
Mr. Chair,
Okay.
if I may,
Gary?
I guess I would counsel against the idea of having someone come in from HUD to potentially, if there are issues that might be problematic, I think that would be imprudent to do at this juncture.
So
I
your
mean, if I understand the idea of getting information, but if there is some sort of problem, I don't know that the city should try to raise the issue with HUD. I think what the city should try to do is learn what the problem is, and if there is a problem, and then try to correct it, and then potentially try to get other information from HUD as a follow-up. At least that would be my recommendation in this situation.
I thought in a different direction. If any of the council body or even the administration, anybody on their staff had any questions that need clarification, we would all hear it together so that there's nothing lost or missing. And what has been uncovered certainly may be defined as problematic. So if you're concerned about a revelation to a HUD representative about problems that we have in-house, I can understand that. Let's go from here.
okay. Okay. Okay, Mike, you got up?
So what was the decision?
Hello, Council Chair and Mayor. Just wanted to announce our summer reading program for 2015. Next Friday at Carolyn Kennedy Library at 1 o'clock p.m. And Saturday at John F. Kennedy Jr. Library at 1 o'clock p.m. We will be having our summer reading kickoff parties. That's not this Friday and Saturday, but next Friday and Saturday, just to be clear. We will have games, treats, and crafts. And kids, teens, and adults can all register for their summer reading program and be eligible for prizes. This will start 6 weeks of reading programs to encourage reading and summer activity. This year's theme is Every Hero Has a Story, so come on out and discover yours. Events run through August 1, so hope you can join us. Also, I wanted to thank the Friends of the Library for their continued work. We raised almost $2,600 this past book sale. So thanks to everyone who volunteered from Crestwood and Annapolis, Bill Deckard for his continued commitment, and everyone else who came out. And that's all for now. Thank you for your time, and see you at the library.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Announcement, sure.
We got
Oh, okay, well, okay, go ahead, and then we'll get,
Hello, council members and Mayor. My name is Suzanne Burleson. I come from the southwestern corner of Dearborn Heights, and I'm here to discuss a problem with the ordinance people who
okay,
are...
this is announcements. These are things happening in the city. That will be after this.
Oh, okay, well,
Okay?
you want me to sit down? I'll sit down.
Yep, and then we'll get you next. Okay, Jack?
Council Chair and Mayor, I just wanted to let you guys know how the event went this weekend. We hosted a low-cost pet vaccination clinic put on by Michigan Humane Society. I want to thank a few people if I can. Chrissy, who helped organize it and provided refreshments. We had police on site, which we appreciated. Chief Brogan and his entire family came out and helped work the registration table and the line. Jacqueline Turner, one of our residents, was out. She helped the entire day at the registration table. Marion from HR, Dana and Shantae from the Water Department came and helped. Sheila, of course, was in the clerk's office issuing licenses. Ordinance officers Keith Holder, Debbie Martinez, Tom Kramers, and Kim Marincelli from the comptroller's office. Her daughter came in and helped us all day long with the line as well. And then I have to mention my stepmother came. She watches these on YouTube, and she'd be really upset if I didn't mention her. Thank you to Judy McIntyre. We serviced 263 cats and dogs that day. They got vaccinated. And then we were able to issue 53 dog licenses and 3 cat licenses. So MHS, they're interested in coming back again next year. We're going to strategize how we're going to advertise it a little differently. One thing that's nice, though, is that we had a lot of enforcements regarding licenses, and several of those got resolved because of this weekend. So that's a positive side to it. So that's it.
Good.
Thanks.
Keep up the good work. Anyone else have any announcements? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Mayor and Honorable Body, for letting me make this quick announcement. I'm Diane Webb, the County Commissioner, and I'm here to talk about my the 4th Annual Veterans, Families, and Caretakers event. I do it every year. Well, I've done it for the last 4 years. This year, I am moving it to Inkster and Schoolcraft. I've hosted it the last 3 years in Dearborn Heights in the district. I'll be hosting it this year in Redford Township. But if there's any Dearborn Heights veterans, it's open to Wayne County veterans. So any veterans in Dearborn Heights that didn't make it to the last 3 events, we started to see the population, to the attendance declining. So we figured it was time to move it to another community. I'm probably going to do it in Redford until the same thing happens, because then we'll know we have saturated the area. We've met the needs of the veterans. And of course, we're always available on call. But quickly, it's Wednesday, June 24th, which is a Wednesday, from 5 to 8 p.m. The doors will open at 4:30. We have over 30 different government agencies and nonprofit organizations that will be there to serve veterans. The VCAT, the Veterans Community Action Team, has 4 pillars of service providers, categories, if you will, and they're education, employment, healthcare, and quality of life. And we will have service providers and from all of those different pillars at the event. We will also have Jimmy John's catering the event. It's completely free. I hit up some of my colleagues to donate some Tiger tickets, and we'll be raffling off 10 sets of Tiger tickets for vets. It's free to their families too. If a lot of times vets won't come out themselves, but if you take care of a veteran or you have a veteran that's a loved one and you want to get information, we'll have people there from both the Ann Arbor and the Dingle VA. They'll be doing healthcare enrollment. They'll be doing disability claims. We're making the IDs for free that they can get discounts for at the neighborhood, businesses that provide discounts for vets. So it's a really great event. I would encourage you to spread the word. We have 2 speakers there. Our own Senator Dave Kniezek, who is also a Marine sergeant, veteran from the Iraqi conflict. He is on the Senate Committee for Veterans Affairs, and we'll be talking about current legislation that he's working on in the state legislature to benefit veterans. And our former, who's now with the state, Troy Sheeline was the former executive director of Wayne County's Veterans Program. He is now moved on to run the VCAT Region 9 for the state. He will also be a speaker there to let people know what we're doing locally and through the state agency to serve veterans. So I'm going to leave some of these here in the building. If at the table, if anybody here is interested in grabbing the flyer, and we will also get it out to Bob and Ancraft to see if we can get it up on your website. He's been wonderful at putting this information out for us in the past, and we would encourage you to spread the word. So that's really all. I came here to speak to you tonight, but since you have me, if you have any questions or concern about this event or anything else, I'm here for you.
It's not about this event.
Okay, yes.
I have all the names and the numbers that I can go directly to, but I feel like I should go through you.
Okay, sure.
I want telegraph from Ann Arbor Trail to Warren Avenue cleaned.
Okay.
And I don't want to wait another month.
Okay.
Every time it rains, it floods.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, last week, I sent you an email. The next day, I came down Telegraph, and there was like 12 trucks on the corner of Warren, and I went, oh my God, she acts quick.
I try, but they weren't doing
for
anything.
the road repair.
Oh, they were doing something
And
else. Okay.
The sewers are so filled.
Right.
The water just cannot go down.
And then you got the lanes flooding every time it
And you got the lanes
rains.
flooding all the way across.
Creates a
It's got
hazard.
to be clean, and it can't just be by hand. They got to vac it out.
Right. So this is, tell me again, Marge, telegraph between.
Joy Road and between Ann Arbor Trail and Warren Avenue, both sides of Telegraph.
Okay, well, we'll go all the way from Joy to Warren.
Isn't there a lot of construction out there now?
No, it's not construction, it's just junk.
Yeah, it's just debris that collects there, and we do this every year. It's MDOT, it's MDOT.
But you know what? For some reason, because I watch it all the way along from Dearborn Heights, Redford, Dearborn.
Yeah.
That section over the bridges mostly.
Is where it collects?
So that probably should be on somebody's calendar, like.
To do it regularly.
Twice a year.
Yeah. Right.
Rotate, because it is bad. It is just bad.
Well, these are things that, the Michigan Department of Transportation handles. Sometimes they contract with the county to do the work for them, and sometimes they do it themselves or have other contractors. I know that my staff has referred this in for you. So I'm going to, and usually we can get people out right away. There has been some personnel changes with the MDOT people. Kim Avery was always my go-to person there, and she got things done like that. There's been some changes. So I will follow up on this personally. Yeah, I will definitely get that done. And anytime there's a delay, please don't wait. If you don't get, if you call us,
give them a week or so to get out there.
Okay, well, a week is good, but if it's over a week, then certainly call me back so I can expedite it myself. Okay, because sometimes I have to call. If my staff calls, sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. But if I call, they usually will. So I'll handle this and I'll get back with you.
Mr. Chairman?
Anything else? Yes.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll let you call me. Thank you.
Councilwoman Hicks-Clayton, go ahead.
Thank you. Commissioner Webb.
Yes.
As an Army mother and wife, I want to thank you, as well as Wayne County, for the Veteran Services. I'm a member of VCAT.
Yes, you are.
I want to thank the VCAT members. Unbelievable resources, amazing what they do for the community. If you have a need, I would encourage any and all veterans to contact the Veteran Services with Wayne County so you can be put in connection with somebody who can help you with whatever your need is. I've seen it firsthand with my son home now. Really, I can't say thank you enough.
Wonderful.
And that's why I serve on it, because I've seen the results.
Thank you, and thank you so much for being a part of it, really. That's what it takes, is the people is what make it happen. Their policy is no wrong door. And we have so many government agencies, and anytime you deal with a government agency, it's so bureaucratic that it's push this number, push that number, and they get passed all over the place, and it's very frustrating for young vets coming back looking for employment and education, and older vets, a lot of Vietnam vets being affected by Agent Orange and this type of thing, and they need need medical care. You know, a lot of major corporations have pulled back on their health care and retirement, and so they never needed their benefits before, now they need them, and they get the runaround. So the VCAT has really been there to tighten up that process. We're in the process of putting out My Vet Connect, which will create a portal, which will be a one-stop shop, for, especially for these young vets who have their iPhones connected to their bodies. This will be wonderful for them. It'll be right on one push of a button, and they'll be able to get all these resources. So thank you for your
That's what we
involvement.
need to do is connect them.
Yes.
I mean, sometimes they're just missing that link, and they don't know where to turn, believe it or not. I've seen it firsthand time and time again, work with veterans, so really great job on that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you there. I hope you can make it out that evening. We'd love to have you. You're all invited.
Councilman Apigian, you had a question?
Can I re-announce the time and place?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. It's at the VFW Hall on 96 in Schoolcraft. It's post 345. Herbert O'Grady Post is the name of the post, 345.
Southeast corner.
Southeast corner, right next to the bank there. And it's a free event, so, you know, from 5 to 8. Doors open at 4:30. We kind of have a private room set aside on the side for people to handle healthcare issues, you know, so if you have anybody that's waiting for a status on a claim or wants to file for healthcare benefits through the VA, there'll be private accommodations for them to discuss that with a counselor, so. VCAT, Veterans Community Action Team. Yes. Okay. Is that any other questions?
Councilman Apigian, yeah.
Do you have to make a reservation?
No.
Or can you just show up?
You can just show up.
Okay. I have a veteran friend of mine that could use a lot of assistance, find out what's available for him.
Well, that's exactly why we do it. So I encourage you to bring him and, yeah, and have him tell his other friends and the you know, veterans that spread the word. I'll be at the Stitt Post tomorrow night, letting them know about it. We have delivered this flyer to every veterans organization. I mail 3,500 veterans in the 3 communities that I serve. But we don't turn anyone away, whether they live in the 8th district or not. If they're a veteran, we'll take care of them. So, okay? Thank you so much. Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Commissioner Webb.
Thank you.
Any other announcements? Seeing none, then at this point, if anyone has any questions, concerned, please direct them to me. If you would like to talk to another council member, the mayor, a department head, et cetera, let me know and I will ask him or her if they would like to respond. Councilman Berry will keep time. You will have 3 minutes after you give your name, the street, and the city that you live in. When there are 15 seconds left, he'll hold up this sign so that you can wrap up your discussion. And when your 3 minutes are up, he will hold up this sign. So, ma'am, now is your time.
So hello again, everybody. My name is Suzanne Burleson. I'm from the southwest part of Dearborn Heights on Ross Street. And within the last 2 weeks, almost everybody on my street between Beach Daly and Gully has gotten a ticket for something from the ordinance people. They are going from house to house with magnifying glasses, finding every piddly little thing that they can find to give us a ticket for. They've been giving me two in the last 2 weeks. And when I literally ran down the guy, the first ticket, because he gave it to me for an unlicensed car, which was licensed, and he took the ticket back, and now I believe I'm being targeted, because now, here it is a week later, I have another ticket for no approach between my porch and the sidewalk, which I've lived in this town for 28 years. I pay my taxes on time. I'm a good citizen. Our street is neat and tidy. I've never had a problem. There's never been a sidewalk there. 28 years. And now all of a sudden, it's a violation. Everybody on my street was out on the street talking today. He's on our street every other day. Every other day. The people who didn't get a ticket the day before, they get a ticket the next day. For all kinds of piddly little dumb things. You know, we're paying the taxes that pay this guy's wages to make us miserable. Everybody is upset on our block.
I mean, I know that we now have a full ordinance department. You know, as far as the sidewalk, I'm not sure how that fits in. But yes, they are walking. But I guess I can't address the individual
That's for the court, yeah.
citations. I don't think they're actually tickets. They're probably just getting a
They're citations.
citation, and then if you fix or take care of it or cut you along, or whatever it might be, then
But
it
it's
goes away. But
It's every other day. He's driving his car 2 miles an hour up and down the street, checking everybody's house out, getting out, walking around. I feel like I'm being stalked. This guy is overzealous, to put it small, you know. Well, obviously, it's not just my block.
Yeah.
And I've been here 28 years. I haven't had problems with the city before. Everything's been peaceful in my neighborhood. We have a very nice street, except for a couple people who are moved away and left their vacant properties. Yeah, ticket those people. Leave the rest of us alone.
Councilman Barry, you had a...
Well, I was just going to say, number one, it's nice to hear that he's doing his job, and I'm sorry that you feel he may be singling you out. That's really not, I'm sure, what he's doing, but I'm sure you agree that what we're really trying to do is maintain our property values and make sure the entire neighborhoods are safe, they're pest-free, animal-free, dogs are being licensed, grass is being cut, all those things that we have.
But target the people who are not doing it, not us people who are taking good care of our property.
For whatever reason he has approached your home, I'm sure there's some validity to it. And if you would like to stick around after the meeting and speak with our department head here, I'm sure he'd be happy to talk to you.
Earlier today, I got no satisfaction.
Jack, is that the Tifa ordinance officer? Yeah, that's Tifa takes care of that ordinance officer in your area.
And also, I would like to say, it's my right to speak here, and I don't want this to come back and come back on me now.
No.
You know, I won't be a bit surprised if I get another ticket tomorrow, and another ticket 2 days later, and another ticket 2 days later, because that's just the way it's been going.
You mean citation.
And everybody in my block is up in arms about it.
Well, if that's the case, call me, and I'll call Carmen, and I'll see what's going on. That's all I can say. I don't know what the... Oh, okay, I didn't know, I know Tifa pays for the ordinance officer, but...
Yeah, this year, this summer, Tifa was able to fund 2 part-time ordinance officers. Typically, they supply 1 in conjunction. It is true, what this officer is doing is unique to what we've done in the past. He likes to get out of the car. And what he does is he runs his regular runs in the morning, and then he asked me, we sat down and talked about it when he first came in. He's also a resident of the city. He said, what I'd like to do is go street by street. And I think I explained that a couple meetings ago, that that's our plan, is to literally go street by street by street by street. And he does have the ability when he's walking to see things that sometimes you wouldn't normally see when you're driving by in a car. And so we did talk today. I offered some solutions. I also said that we are aware that some of these things have been overlooked, but we need to address them. We need to not just address the large things, but the small things. Small things become large things. And one thing I like to tell people all the time is the city of Detroit, we get a lot of calls all the time that it's starting to look like Detroit. And I know a lot of people that work in ordinance for the city of Detroit, and they all tell me the same thing. Detroit has the largest amount of ordinances on their books, but where they failed was they stopped enforcing them. And so that's what we're doing. We're looking at not just the large things, but the small things. And Officer Paul is unique. He does like to get out of the car and go up one side and go down the other. He likes to make it more personal. He likes to explain the ordinances to people.
It sounds like harassment, and it feels like harassment.
And some of the things that we're dealing with in that area are ground feeding, garbage can issues, general blight, storage. And we're just, it made a lot of sense to me for him and for us to do that, to kind of go one block at a time. And so a couple weeks ago, we had a lot of complaints from New York and Notre Dame, people calling saying, you know, if we feel like our block is being targeted. We are doing it that way. We're going block by block
And
by
then you're
block.
going back to the blocks again a couple days later?
Well, we do follow-ups. So if we schedule something and we give someone 10 days, or if it's a larger item and we give them 30 days, we will come back to do
And
a
then you
follow-up.
re-ticket people when you're back?
They're not tickets, they're just warnings. And
Whatever.
today, I offered some solutions, some suggestions and solutions, I think, for you to get the situation resolved.
Until 2 days from now when I get another ticket for something else?
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen, but our general rule is if it's something like regarding a certificate of occupancy or a permit or a garbage can violation, we usually give a 10-day notice. We then will give sometimes a 6-day courtesy notice, and then we'll issue a civil infraction ticket. We don't have to do that. We can, the way the civil infraction ticket works is it's based on an observation of a violation of an ordinance. So we could actually issue a ticket right on that day, but we try to be sensitive and allow people some additional time to get things resolved.
Well, I just wanted to make my concerns.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Susan. Anyone else wish to bring anything before us?
Hello, I'm Jacqueline Turner. I live on McDonald Street in the southwestern corner. My question is regarding the trash, rubbish disposal, garbage can thing. Are we still on track to get those cans that the truck empties?
When's the contract? Next year, is it, Mayor?
It is sometime in the middle of 2016, as we presented to the council. Mr. Miyake and I will be coming back because we've had some discussions with Waste Management, but we put everybody on notice that we want to have the containers with the closed lid.
With the lids, right. And the recycle container also, right?
Recycling would also, because now I recycle, a lot of my neighbors recycle, probably you do too.
Mm-hmm.
And the one problem, it's like if it's very windy, those things blow out. So we
Right.
need a cover on those. For those of us to take the time and the effort to do it, it's disheartening to have your papers and boxes
All
on
over the
on a
place.
bad day floating away, so.
Right, as well as in the winter with the snow. It weighs it down, and then they have trouble emptying them in when it rains, too. My other question is regarding the waste company that picks up. The last 2 weeks on McDonald Street, west of Beach Daily, they have literally taken the cans, and when they emptied them, left them in the middle of the street. This is the second week that they've done that.
Okay.
So, maybe, I don't know who wants to address that with them, but that should not be happening, because then the cars are playing dodge the cans.
So we will have a talk with them. I can tell you generally, and I think I speak, we are not real pleased with Waste Management. We have let them know for a multitude of reasons, and that's why it's my belief that that contract needs to get rebid out. I'm not inclined to renew any agreement with Waste Management because of the difficulty.
Okay.
And anybody that works in the administration or DPW, I think that's their general feeling too, because of the complaints that we get.
Okay, and regarding the ordinance people, the rest of us in the southwest neighborhood, we have a neighborhood association now that meets once a month. So anyone from the southwest part of Dearborn Heights is welcome to come to this meeting, and it takes place at, I think it's the Donovan VFW there on Van Born, the third Thursday of the month at 7 p.m. And we are very happy that we have all this ordinance stuff taking place over there, because we had several people coming in. They had grass that was growing up to our waist. They was using their front yard as like, a storage area and stuff like that. So we're very happy to have Jack and his people there. When we came up with the rat problem a couple of years ago, that's the first time I came here. When I went home on a Thursday night and saw rats running across the street, I was here the next Tuesday at the meeting and kept coming back after that, until I had some back surgery and that. So it's been a while since I was able to get here. But we're very happy to have our ordinance people. So let's give him a hand.
Thank you. Anyone else have anything they wish before us? Seeing none?
Motion to adjourn?
Moved by Councilman Berry, second by Councilman Kozinski. All in favor of the motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.